seeing as we have access to information now, well, how do you refine what you should be learning about? Well, there's going to be emergencies in your life, and there's going to be kind of the past. The, there's going to be things in your past that you want to learn about. Sometimes it's to avoid a mistake, or sometimes it's you're preparing for something and you want to know as much as possible. And you learn the language of the thing that you're interested in, and then you learn to search and you learn to sit down and find the information and learn it. You can do all that, and those things become really obvious. Like, for example, uh, you're paying a lot of rent and you decide that you're going to work on buying a house, but you don't know what that's like. So you can like go to YouTube and go, buy how do I buy a house, right? And that's terrible, and it's going to give you terrible results, but it's better than nothing, and it's down a path. The the impetus for you pursuing that research is obvious. There's a moment in your life, there's a concern that you have. I've got this weird peeling skin on my foot. Is this lupus? Like go and you can just don't act on that information because it's going to be bad. Welcome to the internet. It's just like that. But so there are obvious paths, but there are things in your life that you could learn about that you never thought that you ought to learn about. And the example that I have in mind is you should learn about locks. You use one every day, many times a day, often. Well, you use the lock on your front door. Well, how does that work? How does the key work? Like, what is it about cars that makes their like, why are the keys different? And what does that mean? There's a lot of objects in your life that you use very regularly that if you're interested, you should go and learn more about it. There's a lot of information out there that has a certain style to it that's talking down to the learner, and this is declared as being child friendly, but it's insulting even to a kid that's actually highly interested. That presentation is awful. They would be better off being given a reasonable, eloquent, patient adult explanation than one of these. They don't need Muppets to teach them about physics. They need a reasonable, structured, what with experiments that are demonstrated, and that'll totally get them on board. If it starts going down the weird math route, the right teacher, like you get a highly interested 14-year-old, they'll sit down and for like a third-year university lecture that leads from experimentation to the math, and the math will just totally go over their head, but there will be little snippets that are interesting. And this is one of the problems with information online, let's say. There's a lot of it because there's a lot of life, and there's a lot of people with specialties for the nuances in our lives. So you could go out there and you could get really challenging, deep tutorials, explanations, demonstrations of so many things. And you're only you. You only have so much time. You only have so much interest. And so there might be something that's a that's really wonderful for you, but only the first hour is any good. And it's a uh, it's a 3-hour lecture with 11 different parts. And at some point in the world, you're presented with so much information that you have to learn to hold back. So you can look at your life and find all these different opportunities of things to learn, but you're never going to run out of any one of those topics. And because you're never going to run out of any one, you might be wasting time going down the path of one of those things and removing the opportunity to spend time at a little bit of all of the things.